welcome back to my channel. So my first video, I was going to do it on Audit Them. I may still put a small video of him at the end, but Delete Lawz has been making somewhat of a splash lately, so I thought I would go ahead and do my first video on Chillito. And this is a recent upload of his when he was in Boston, Massachusetts, being annoying as usual and pretending like he is some kind of constitutional scholar, which we all know he is not. So enjoy the video.
Because if it's not probation, you can revoke consent.
You want to take the roof bottle with you too? Is it in the back seat? Is it in the back seat? Yeah.
And of course we have Chillito here, who has to be in the frame every time he's recording someone because he's that full of himself that he can't just take a video of the police or of whatever's going on. He has to make sure that his face is within frame always.
Was it probation? Is that what it is? Probation?
Hey buddy, mind your own business.
I'm at the Rotary.
I love it. That cop actually said what Chillito should have been doing the whole time, minding his own business. I don't know why he thinks he can just run off to whatever traffic stop there is or whatever is going on and yell at the person being detained or pulled over, but the cop was wonderful. I agree with the cop. Mind your own business.
Always got weed in the car. Big ass. Sorry, I can't get it. My hands are shaking too much. It's a big ass jar of weed right there. It's a big ass jar of weed. And I think before I got here, he had admitted to having the weed. So I think that he has a really heavy, I think he has a Jamaican accent. But he had already admitted when I got here, he had already admitted to the weed. So it looks. Oh, there's no accent. So it doesn't sound like he's gonna hem him up.
And so now we have Chillito not only assuming that this man admitted to having weed prior to him showing up and being the nuisance he always is, but he also assumed this guy had a Jamaican accent. Why? Because he's a black male? Is that why you automatically assumed he had a Jamaican accent? Because immediately after stating that, you then hear him speak and you're like, oh, wait, no accent. That's all he does is assume things. And then he just repeats them over and over as if he knows what was going on before he even arrived on the scene. This is one of the biggest issues with Chillito, is the fact that he tries to think. It's not a good thing. He needs to stop doing that. It's going to do nothing but keep getting him in trouble, and it's going to hurt a little bit every time he does try.
Interest this man here would be if I didn't agitate the police, because he had already admitted to the weed, and they had already agreed to where it was and how much he had. So and of course that exact scenario is an assumption, but he seemed to have already admitted that he had the marijuana.
So, okay, he finally admits that it's an assumption that the man told the police that he already had the weed on him. But then he just goes right back into, well, he told them that he had the weed on them. Are you serious? Enough. Why are you doing this? You have no clue what happened prior to your arrival. You can't say this happened before I arrived. Oh, it's an assumption back to, oh, this happened before I arrived. And yes, it would be in the best interest of everyone there, not just the man that was driving and who was pulled over, but everyone's best interest if you just shut up and stayed out of the whole thing.
To mind my own business. I thought that would be the best thing to do for the gentleman who's pulled over. You know, just to shut up and hope he gets through it without going to jail. And then it sounds like this cop over here, they got out. Doesn't sound like they're gonna hem him up, because I think a certain amount of marijuana is legal in Massachusetts. So I can't quite hear what they're saying here. They're saying something. He's talking real quiet. They're saying something. You can't hear it. Another cop just pulled up.
You don't hear what they're saying because this has nothing to do with you. And they are maybe speaking a little bit lower than they normally would because they see someone desperate for attention is standing right over there with a camera phone pointed in their direction, and they know just to ignore you, keep it quiet so that you don't get any of it on recording. They're doing the right thing. You, on the other hand, you're a nuisance.
So is he going to impound his vehicle? He might be impounding his vehicle. Got another copper here now. So I sound something about an expired vehicle. Expired something here. I got an officer approaching me here, so I'll flip it around here. Have this conversation like this. So I just don't want anybody to obstruct my view here.
Yes, of course. The importance of the video has nothing to do with the traffic shot. It just has to do with getting his face in the camera. We all know that.
Like this. So I just don't want anybody to obstruct my view here.
Hey, sir, how you doing?
Just don't obstruct my view, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Okay.
So-
Are you involved in this at all? Do you know this individual or anyone here? You just walking by?
What's your name and badge number?
I don't need to give it to you right now. I'm not involved. You're not involved in this.
But you're involved in it. You're the public servant. I'm the
I
citizen.
know. I'm just asking, are you involved in this? I'm just here for your safety. I
You're
want to
here
make
for-
sure
you're
not
here for my safety?
Yes, I want to make
Is
sure
that-
you're not too close to this. All right?
You know what?
All right.
Because you have
All right.
such a good haircut, then I'm gonna. The guy has the exact same haircut I do.
Yes, officer, do not obstruct his view. God forbid Chillito's entire face didn't get in the camera view. Don't obstruct the view of his face. That could upset him very much. And no, Chillito, the officer does not have your haircut. Could you be any more vain?
It is criminal offense. He's got to report for it.
So he's saying his license is suspended. He's saying his license is suspended is what he's saying. He's saying that his license is suspended.
Wait, what was it? I'm not sure. I mean, you only repeated it 3 times back to back, but just to make sure we all understand, were they saying his license was suspended? You may need to repeat it another 3 or 4 times for everybody to understand.
All right, pal. Thanks for the info.
Yes, Chillito reminding everybody he is not number 1, but he is number 2. However, he did make the number 1 spot for the number 1 grifter in the world. So congratulations, Chillito. I'm going to speed it up a little bit because we all know Chillito loves having that boring airtime where there's not much happening because, you know, he's got to make his video longer than what it's supposed to actually be or what it should actually be. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit where he starts having a man-child fit because a flashlight was flashed in his face, which, by the way, the cops can legally do, and there's nothing he can do about it. We're going to listen to him whine a little bit because that's all he ever does anyway.
Yes. Why would you do that? Why would you point the light at me like that? It's a little... Excuse me, officer, can you do me a favor, please, sir? Could you take that light out of my eyes, sir? Or could I get your name and badge number? I'm a constitutional...
You're getting involved in a traffic stop. Get back on the curb.
Actually, you're going to get yourself in trouble for what you've done. I'm a constitutional law scholar. Be very careful what you do. Be very careful. I've been very respectful. What you just did was rude. Apologize and we can walk away from this. In the world, no, it's over. He's leaving.
He's not leaving.
Is it still going? Well, then back him down. Back him down, or we'll go to the next level.
Listen, sir.
Which is I'll sue his ass.
Listen.
That simple. Take the light out of my eyes.
You're in a traffic stop.
Take
I have every right to arrest you for this.
No, listen. You just did that to me. Obviously, I'm a journalist. I haven't said a freaking word to you, dude.
Listen,
Now, please take the light out of my eyes.
Out.
If you're gonna arrest me, then do it.
Go back to the curb.
You'll end up in a federal civil rights lawsuit. I'll step back because you're still in a stop. Because you're still in a stop. Take the light out of my
You're
eyes.
interfering with the police officer.
Are you gonna put your hands on me?
I'm not putting my hands on you.
Okay, I've been very respectful till that.
Listen.
What the hell was that?
We just had a
Get the light out of my eyes.
personal conversation.
Okay.
And you're recording this
Okay.
personal conversation.
Listen, I'm in public. I have a right to record anything
Go
from
back on the
public.
curb. Back on the curb.
I need your name and badge number. What is it?
Pittman, 4371.
And what's
Back on the
his?
curb.
What's his?
I'm asking you, please go
I
back on
asked.
the
He
curb.
just put the light in my eyes.
Go back on the
Okay,
curb.
I'm not obstructing anything
You
now.
are. You're still in the zone.
Pittman or Pinman?
Pittman.
Pittman. Okay, I did nothing. That light doesn't go in my eyes again.
Back on the curb.
You don't have dominion over me. I can stand wherever I want. You're not the boss of me. I don't stand on a curb. I'll do wherever I want to stand. Plain as day. Do what you're gonna do.
Wow, talk about a man-child fit. First of all, Chillito, you are not a constitutional law scholar. You probably skimmed through the laws and the Constitution 20 years ago. You didn't study them for 20 years, but maybe 20 years ago you actually looked at it a little bit, but you surely didn't comprehend anything from it. Secondly, they can shine the light. There is no law there that states that they are illegally or that they're not legally allowed to shine a flashlight into your camera. You are the one obstructing their investigation. They do have precedent over you when it's their investigation. If they tell you to stand off to the side or on a curb or go sit in a tree, that they are allowed to say that, and you do have to leave the investigation area. You are not as important as you try to think you are, or try to convince people that you are. All you do is whine and complain. You have the thinnest skin on the internet that I've ever seen other than Audit Them. It's ridiculous the way you throw a fit you're supposed to be a grown man, but I'm not too sure about that anymore. Grow up already. Stop acting like a man-child. Stop whining like your diaper is full every time somebody tells you something that you don't agree with, because you don't understand the laws and you don't understand the Constitution. And we can go ahead and say there's proof of that because, well, didn't you legally try to help Deborah, who accepted your legal assistance and now she's sitting in jail? Yeah, I would say you need to go back and reread what you started to read, or at least try to read 20 years ago.
Everybody do me a favor, everybody do me a favor and hit the like button if you would, please. Take your finger right now, hit the like button. If it's your first time on my channel, my name is Delete Lawz. You can go to my online store called DeleteLawz.com, Delete Lawz with a Z. Get the indestructible trifold, learn all 12 laws on that indestructible trifold. I know them backwards and forwards like I do, and that's the reason why when the cop tells me to get on the curb, I simply won't get on the curb. You're not gonna tell me where to stand when you have traffic blocked off. meaning that any reasonable person would know that arresting me for being 1 foot here is completely unreasonable. And that gives me legal standing, and I could sue his ass for that. You can't block off the street and then demand that the citizen get on the sidewalk over power tripping. It's unreasonable. And he would then violate my Fourth Amendment right if he detained me or touched me. You need to know your rights. They're on that trifold. I should do a contest. Who knows all 12 of the Supreme Court cases on the trifold? I just don't want this guy like driving away. They do it all the time where they just drive away. It's so frustrating.
Okay, so first things first, don't forget to hit the like button, because if you don't, he's going to destroy you. Hit that like button. He is so adamant on hitting that like button. If you notice, he's very repetitive with his cult following. He repeats everything, like hitting the like button, hitting subscribe. He will literally sit there and hit the like button 15 times in a row. It's because he knows that his followers are not that bright, and they do need to be told repeatedly to do one thing, or they're going to forget to do it the minute he told them to do it. Because anybody who agrees with him is obviously not working with a full deck, as he's not. And this trifold thing, the trifold is a freaking joke. Anybody who literally buys this thing and uses it when they get pulled over instead of actually showing their driver's license, registration, and insurance deserves to get ticketed or arrested. Because if you're that dumb, you shouldn't be allowed to drive in the first place.
Fast. And what the Mullen Commission showed was that that police are absolutely corrupt to the core. That I can file a complaint against this jackboot thug right here who put this light in my eyes, but you know what will happen? Absolutely nothing. His commanders, his supervisors, none of them will do anything about it. It will go absolutely.
And do you know why nothing will happen if he goes ahead and files a complaint on that police officer? Because the police officer did nothing wrong. Why would they follow up with a complaint and punish a police officer when they did nothing wrong? That's the problem with these frauditors putting in complaint after complaint after complaint, and then they get all upset and cry about the fact that nothing happened with the complaint. Well, that's because the cop did nothing wrong. Just because they hurt your feelings does not mean they're going to be reprimanded. They, like you say yourself, are not the feelings police. But yet you want to act as if they are, only when it's your feelings that were involved. Because let's admit it, only your feelings matter, only your opinion matters, and the amendments, the Constitution, only matters when it's about you.
Nowhere. And that's from the Mullen Commission, 1994. How many people here have read it? Put a 1 if you've read the Mullen Commission. Put a 2 if you have not. Just real quick. Let me just see. Just type it right here. Number 1 if you've read the Mullen Commission or you've downloaded it from my website, or number 2 if you have not. 1 if you have, 2 if you have not. Just real quick, just go for it. Let me see. Number 1 or number 2? Number 1 or number 2? Have you read it? Number 1. Number 2, I have not. Let me just see. Go. Let me see. 1 or 2? 1 or 2? 1, I've read it. 2, I have not.
Come on, people. It's either 1 or 2. It's dependent on your life if it's 1 or 2. Because, oh my goodness, if you haven't read it, he's going to throw a fit. He's going to have a fit. And I'm not a fortune teller. He really is going to throw a fit.
Wow, a lot of 2s. Wow. Gloria, wow. Gloria, you have not read it? Oh my God, Gloria. Gloria, you're my girl. What are you doing? Gloria. Love you, Gloria. Please read the Mullen Commission. Gloria, please download it and just read the anti-corruption units. Just read about the anti-corruption units in the Mullen Commission. Just do me the favor and read it. And by the way, it's not a hard read. It's like those books, See Spot Run, See Spot Sit. It's just like that.
Poor Gloria. I honestly thought he was going to put her to the stake because she didn't read it. I mean, My goodness, poor Gloria. I would sleep with one eye open if I was you, because Chillito may be after you because you did not read that report. And of course, the report is written as simple as reading See Spot Run. We all know that's all he can read is The Cat in the Hat, and even that may be too advanced for him.
I mean, you know, more than the name and badge number, I just want to know why, if you think that was appropriate.
What was appropriate?
For you to shine the light in my face.
I didn't shine the light in your face. That light's on his cruiser. That's his light.
So did he shine the light in my face?
He must have. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you?
Right here. No.
Well, then I'm sorry for barking at you.
All right, no
I apologize.
All right.
I didn't mean to
Have
bark
a
at
good
you.
night, sir, okay?
I'm sorry. But then he's the one that. So let me ask him then. His stop is now over. Hey, can I ask you something, sir? Why'd you? He said you shined the light in my face. Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it?
Why'd you come into a car stop?
To watch you. To film you.
All right, sir.
Okay, you take care of yourself. Sorry for barking at you. You didn't do it. I apologize. Take care. So the guy who he instigated me walking over to him and confronting him because he put the light in my face, the same guy in the car. And then when I confronted him, he threatened to arrest me. So someone who was being, so just play this out legally. Just play it out legally. Someone who was being peaceful press, I was being peaceful press, and then he shined the light in my eyes. I reacted to him shining the light in my eyes, and then he threatened to arrest me. Had I not known my rights, he might have arrested me. But I didn't back down, and so, but if he had arrested me, what would have happened is, he would have lost a lawsuit. He would have been in big trouble. He instigated it. He's the one that put the light in my face for absolutely no reason. That was absolutely preposterous.
Thankfully, that was the end of his video, but of course he had to end it with, you know, throwing a fit that somebody put a light in his eyes, claiming, first of all, that it was the light on the cruiser, which it wasn't. It was an actual flashlight. And just thinking, he goes on and on about it as if it's the most horrible crime committed by a police officer. Number one, it wasn't a crime. Number two, it wasn't illegal. And number three, if you don't want things like this to happen, stop butting in to traffic stops and thinking that you're a part of it and trying to throw your 2 cents in. Whose business is it of yours, Chilli, that if the man was on probation or not? It wasn't your business. It wasn't your business if the man had weed on him or how much weed he had on him, or if he told them that there was weed at the beginning before you even showed up. None of that is your business. You make it your business when you go and you put yourself in there, and then yes, it can be obstruction of the investigation, which is exactly what you were doing. Anyways, everybody, this video, it is my first video. I'm trying my hardest to get better at this. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.